What is up, our friends of film fandom, wherever you may be, and however you may be watching and or listening? We appreciate you being here and giving us just a little bit of your time. We are, of course, The Harsh Truth, and as always, I am obviously not Frank. But we have a pretty full lobby, I guess I can say tonight. We're running trios tonight, as the gamers say. So there'll be a lot of gamer puns in this one because we're here to do my all-time favorite movie, Ready Player One, and the only people I could honestly think to squad up with would be, of course, the actual living, breathing Frank. How are you this evening, sir?
Fantastic, fantastic. Mostly because I get to spend at least the first couple seconds of the stream reminding you that about 99% of the pop culture references come from the amazing decade that is the 80s, in a movie that you claim to love so much. I just want to point that out, and that's the only time I'll do it for this entire review. I promise. Just want to put that out there, let it hang in the air.
There will be a time when we stop jerking off the 80s and we're going to go to the 90s eventually. And then the early 2000s, which is already happening, unfortunately. But somebody I've known since the early 2000s. We also have a special guest. We have my buddy Sharkbait, who is bringing us all the book knowledge as well as movie knowledge. And how are you this evening?
I'm doing fantastic. I am happy to bring this knowledge. Love both sides of this, film and page. And I'm excited for y'all to actually be able to hear the differences and whatnot and how drastically the book is different from this amazing film.
Yeah, that tends to happen. I know Harry Potter is a big contention of stuff like that. That tends to happen a lot. Let's go to the chat. Hey, we got my mom in here. She was actually not the first one. Stuart McQuay, we confused the shit out of him from the Land Down Under because he got this notification 12 hours ago. When I went in here to set the stream up, I realized it was 8 in the morning here for us, not 8 in the evening. So that's real awkward, but it's all good. And rounding out the people with more class, we have my wife in here too before Casey. Which Dr. Nick, always on it as always. Casey likes to Ready Player One himself. He's always player one in his own world and sticks things in his pooper. Yeah, there we go. Okay, well now that we've got all the housekeeping things out of the way, of course we're here to talk about Ready Player One. Go to the notes. All right, Ready Player One is a 2018 American science fiction film based on Ernest Cline's 2011 novel by the same name, Ready Player One. Directed by Steven Spielberg from a screenplay by Cline and Zak Penn. It stars Tye Sheridan, Olivia Cooke, Ben Mendelsohn, Lena Waithe, TJ Miller, Simon Pegg, and Mark Rylance. The film is set in 2045, where much of humanity uses the OASIS, a virtual reality simulation, to escape the real world. Teenage orphan Wade Watts finds clues to a contest that promises ownership of the OASIS to the winner, and he and his allies compete to complete it all before an evil corporation can do so. Ready Player One premiered at South by Southwest in Austin, Texas on March 11th, 2018, and was theatrically released in the United States on March 29th by Warner Brothers Pictures. The film received positive reviews from critics who praised Spielberg's direction, the visual effects, brisk pacing, and the performances of both Sheridan and Rylance. It was also a commercial success, grossing over $607 million worldwide against $155 to about $175 million budget, and earned a nomination for Best Visual Effects at the 91st Academy Awards. On Rotten Tomatoes, the film holds an approval rating of 71% with an average score of 6.8 out of 10, based on 443 reviews. The site's critical consensus reads, quote, Ready Player One is a sweetly nostalgic thrill ride that neatly encapsulates Spielberg's strengths while adding another solidly engrossing adventure to his filmography. And I agree with all of the words that came out of my mouth just now. So, we'll go around the horn. Frank, do you want to give me your quick thoughts on this movie before we drop in, as the kids say?
Yeah, it's just good. This movie, I know I make the joke that it's mostly 80s references, but I mean, the reality is this nostalgic Easter egg mentality. It goes through all generations. There's something there's been something like an Easter egg in every piece of like popular media pop culture, really since pop culture became a thing in probably like the 60s and 70s. There's always been something like that. And this movie just encapsulates what's fun and awesome about all that. And I think that's one of the reasons why this movie is looked upon so favorably by everybody, is that it's one of those movies that you don't have to be of a certain age. You kind of get it. Even if you're not part of the video game generation, if you're one of these 60, 70-year-old guys, you still kind of understand the point of this movie. The video game stuff is cool for the modern audience, but the message is something that resonates beyond any one generation. There's just a very well done movie. There's not really a whole lot wrong with it.
I agree. What you got, Sharkbait? Ooh ha ha. What? Give me your quick thoughts before we dive into this movie.
Every time with the ooh ha ha, cannot escape it. But no, first time I saw this movie, I fell in love with it. I actually saw the movie before I read the book. I saw it. I had a copy of it on my phone while I was deployed. I was watching this movie at least once a week before I would go to sleep every night. I'd watch part of it, move on, and I could probably quote the movie at one point for how many times I had watched this. There's just so many amazing references and cool things that they were able to put in, and how they were meld all these different fandoms together from the 80s into one massive and amazing motion picture. Like, this captures everything truly awesome about that generation.
Yeah, I know. I know I'm not, this is not my show in essence, that it's like, no, this has nothing to do with the 90s. I get it. But this is a very beautiful time period that, like, it is looked back so fondly on, whether you were there or not. Like Frank was saying, it's like, I wasn't there, but it's like, but I appreciate it for, I understand its importance. And a lot of this is, like I've said, like, this is what the inside of my brain looks like. I'm telling you, there's so many references to so many movies, stuff that melds together. Just, all of this pop culture in one big universe. And that's why I love it. I think I saw this when it came out. I remember going to the theater, and it's definitely a theater movie. But I mean, like he said, Sharkbait said, I actually have the movie on my phone as well, and I always have it on my phone, and I will watch it at any time, every time. And just like him, I can quote this whole movie like with my eyes closed, front to back. And I do, out there somewhere, I own the first and second book. There is actually a second book, so I mean, maybe we'll talk about some sequel stuff, but I have not actually read that, so I don't really know where we could go from there. But yeah, this movie managed to knock The Matrix out of my top spot for my favorite movie of all time, so it's definitely doing something special. I'll say that. All right, first thing, and I always forget to do stuff. So first part is Steven Spielberg, which I think that indie director who's kind of, I don't know if you guys know who that is. That's the first point of contention, and I just yeeted my tab out of my existence. There we go. I don't know, let's get a cool picture of the stacks. Like, screw it, let's do that. Let's talk about Spielberg. I mean, we don't want to go over his whole filmography, but I'll start with Frank. What do you think about the job he did with this movie? Because I mean, this had to be an IP nightmare, but I mean, I don't know who else better to put this to screen. What do you think about what he did with this?
The interesting thing about Spielberg is I talk a lot about world building when I talk about movies. And if you go back and look at some of his stuff and the worlds that he's built, I mean, beyond this, I mean, Close Encounters, Raiders of the Lost Ark, E.T., Schindler's List, Jurassic Park. This guy, visually and story-wise, builds worlds that are absolutely amazing. And they're not just one kind of thing. It's not like he does one kind of world very well. Some archaeologist in the 1930s, that's a crazy world that you feel like you're absorbed by when you're watching the movie. E.T., you feel like you're walking around Southern California in that neighborhood with the little guy dressed up in a sheet. He creates worlds that are engrossing. You are absorbed by his films. He is the best director of all time. I don't know that anybody is even a close second. I mean, there's him and there's everybody else. Everybody who's ever made a movie, anybody who's ever filmed a 5-minute video of their cat doing something stupid on their iPhone. Everybody else is below him. He is just too damn good. At this point, he's playing with house money. I mean, he did a fantastic job with this movie in every way. But I mean, at this point, the guy's he's just doing it because he's like, oh, I haven't done a video game movie yet. Let me do Ready Player One. This seemed like a pretty cool story. And then this, and he's like, oh, I haven't done. I swore off doing musicals. Maybe I'll try a musical. And he comes with West Side Story.
West Side Story.
It's like, I mean, he keeps saying he's not interested in superhero movies, but I got to be honest, I feel like he's got one on the horizon. Because that's like the one thing he says he's never been interested in, but it's like he's just going to go do it better than like everybody else. So if DC really wants to get back in the hunt, you might want to talk to old Spielberg about coming and doing at least one film. Because I mean, like I said, the guy's playing with house money. He's so far ahead of everybody else. His vision, everything about this guy. It's like even when he makes movies where he tries to make them a little, I don't want to say duller, but a little more subtly paced, like The Fabelmans or something like that. He still does something that just blows your mind. He knows how to glue your eyeballs to the screen for 2 hours, and you just don't want to look away. You really do become like one of these people in the Oasis. You're completely absorbed. You don't want to leave his movie because it's always so good. I'd like to see him try to make a bad look. They've said for years that 1941 is his worst film, and that movie has actually become very well loved and has become a cult classic. People are watching that movie differently now and saying, oh, wait a minute, this movie is actually really good. You know why? Because Spielberg is that good. He is just that damn good.
I actually, right over here in this box that you can't see off screen, I have the DVD of 1941 in there amongst all my other DVDs. Yeah, speaking of a man who started with sharks, Sharkbait, do you want to give me your thoughts on what Spielberg did with this movie?
Well,
I got segues for days. Trust me.
I know you do. Again, like you said, I've known you since the early 2000s. Trust me, I know how much you have. But like Frank said, he is a world builder. You see this movie and you see that classic 80s music hitting at the start black screen, and it just pops. You're right there in that screenshot you had up there. And you're just seeing this, you're seeing everything going around, all the moving parts, all the different things he has just to build that world, to build that atmosphere around it, where you can feel, like Frank said, you feel like you're living in that world while you're watching. And as you progress through this movie, it feels like you could be in that oasis, like you could be in there experiencing all this yourself. You just got the front row seat to it all right there in front of you. And he does that with, yes, exactly. You start flying through space. You start flying through space, and you're able to see all these things. And that's what it's like when you're watching any of his filmography. Is you're like he said, you're in those worlds. You're flying through his head, through his world, with all these pictures that he does. And I really wanted to crack the joke that if he makes a superhero movie, it's going to be like he's going to take a book out of M. Night Shyamalan's and add a giant twist in there. But I want to see if he makes a superhero movie, because he probably would make a fantastic one. But this one, top movie with how he designed this, how he writes the characters, writes the world, plays it all out, how things meld one scene to the next. Truly beautiful piece. And I am glad that I was alive to be able to watch this movie.
I agree. I guess I don't know how much more I could praise this movie. First of all, you get win points for me for setting this, so close to home for me. So that's really cool. First of all, so you already get points for that. And I guess I
do want to point out real quick that the only other film that he's got on the horizon right now is one that also sounds equally awesome. He's directing an upcoming science fiction film from a screenplay by David Cope, who he's worked with in a bunch of other films, starring Josh O'Connor, Emily Blunt, Colin Firth, and Wyatt Russell. And there's no name. All that we know right now is that in April of 24, it was announced that Spielberg's next directing project would be a UFO-based film on his own original idea with David Cope. Let's see. It's blah, blah, blah. Emily Blunt was reported to join in the lead role. She was confirmed in August. And from August to December, all the other people were cast. O'Connor was offered his role without even having to audition. And true to form, he is getting John Williams to compose the film. So, so it's like Spielberg's like, time for me to go win another Oscar. I'm bored. I got nothing better to do. So let's add one more statue to my mantle.
Yeah.
How many does he have now?
A bunch. You stop counting to a point.
more than I have, so that's for sure. What was I was gonna say, I guess I could quote James Halliday, where he says, like, I'm a dreamer, I build worlds.
35 Oscars.
He has 35.
147 nominations, 35 Oscars.
We need to get that to around 40.
I mean, just like
he pretty much
film,
he pretty much cleaned house with Raiders, the first Raiders. He almost cleaned house with E.T. He really did clean house with Schindler's List, Saving Private Ryan, same thing. So yeah, he's and oddly just the one nomination for this film, which I thought should have gotten a little bit more love, but whatever.
Well, it's a very visual movie. I mean, to be fair, that at least deserves that.
To say nothing of the 22 BAFTAs and the 16 Golden Globes. So,
yeah. Okay, well, I guess I'll go fuck myself. I'm not going to talk about Spielberg. We got... No, that's definitely ready. Oh, my God. My tabs are so out of order. All right, next we got... next we got the cast. I got a cool little shot of Parzival here. Frank, so... What do you think about this cast? Who stands out to you? Is there anybody that catches your attention the most?
Everybody's good. I think we're kind of lucky in that respect. Simon Pegg's fun to see, although he just kind of bookends it in a kind of a glorified cameo. Look, Tye Sheridan did very good in the lead role. I think he carried the movie very well. Ben Mendelsohn is a great bad guy. And we've seen him in the the Marvel stuff as playing one of the good guys, but he's been in so many things where he's just so damn good. But honestly, for me, it's Mark Rylance, the guy that plays the creator of the OASIS. There's a very strange kind of a comfort, I want to say, a peacefulness when he's on screen and talking. Because I know that he's portrayed in the film as kind of being I don't want to say doofus, somebody who is unique. So someone who has a kind of he's got a unique mindset, let's just say. But that last scene in the film where they're standing in his bedroom and he's talking with Mark Rylance's character and the younger version of himself, that to me was just fantastic dialogue. After all the action and everything, having that conversation really sets everything where it needs to be at the end of the day. And he does a great job with his eyes. His performance really blew me away as I was watching this again, because there's so much that he says with his eyes. I talk a lot about people acting with their eyes. His words are good. His dialogue delivery is fantastic. But there's a look that comes over him when he's trying to say something meaningful that really helps the dialogue hit home. But I can't knock anybody in the cast, but it's Mark Rylance that really stands out for me, especially that last scene, which is so damn good.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Sharkbite? You got a favorite character? Somebody stands out to you? What do you think about this cast?
Well, originally it was Parzival. Just loved how he played the character and how he acted out throughout the film. The expression and emotions he showed, and like those eureka moments when he's figuring out the clues, and like you can see like that true expression on his face from that. It was him when I first saw the film, and he's still an amazing actor. Don't get me wrong, but after reading the book, Nolan Sorrento, based from book to movie, he played the character so well through the book that if they had the same lines of the book as they did the movie, he would be a 1-for-1 representation of Nolan Sorrento. He played that character perfectly with that same maniacal but also driven attitude towards reaching that goal that he wanted of taking control of the OASIS and everything that he did in the film. Like, he truly is Nolan Sorrento after this. Like, he is that character.
Hell yeah.
And something to actually piggyback off of what Frank had just said, talking about Halliday, I wish they would have expressed this detail in the book, but the reason why he acts like that, where he's always got that look, like he's trying to say something important, they did not mention the movie, but it was stated very early in the book. James Halliday had high functioning autism.
That
That's
makes
what
sense.
that's
I was
what
like, he's definitely autistic. Yes.
yeah, that's why he acts like that in the book. It's described when he's playing it out. He's very brutally honest, even if he doesn't mean to. Like he will
Mhm.
just say things as is. He'll say what's speaking his mind, but he also makes those connections to those things he loved. Like when he was building the Oasis and everything like that, how he wanted to put all his favorite things from childhood in there. Like how he mentions in the movie and at the end when we see him as a kid. That's like his character. He was high functioning autism and he was hard focused on everything that he loved from his childhood. But yeah.
That's unfortunate they didn't mention that in the movie because that would have put everything in a much different light.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you're just kind of left to kind of assume that. Like, I mean, I can tell. I was like, this guy's definitely autistic. Like, he's very intelligent, but like still managing to be high functioning. And he does have, like he said, he's very focused and very driven on like making this, whole world. And he's like in that scene, unfortunately, like when he's talking to Ogdemoro and they're kind of having their falling out. It's like it sucks that like that's what's happening. They're kind of having their, you know, not Tim from Apple, Steve and Wozniak. They're kind of having their little, him and Wozniak. That's kind of the mirror image of like that's what's happening here. They're these two tech guys that are having this big company they built together, and then one kind of oversteps the other. So,
Well, that's why I like a
I
quote. That's why I like a quote in this scene. What he's about to say in that scene is Halliday's quote there. I like things how they were when they were. Talking about how he liked it in the past, which is
when
why
it
he
was
built
the
his
game.
world like that.
Yeah, but people don't live inside an arcade cabinet. But you know what? Now we can, and I wish we did. Although
as
I
a
think
child of the 80s, we tried. Trust me.
yeah, I bet. I mean, to be fair, with some of this technology that we have now, I'm like, we actually kind of have this technology where you have the where is it? I don't have him running on the treadmill, but like we have the visor, motion capture, the gloves, and we have the little treadmills that you can run in place on. So it's there. And I mean, to be fair, in the timeline of the movie, literally next month, as the time of this recording, December 2025 is when the Oasis went live. So someone needs to get on it, and we better have a wild announcement here in the next like month that someone's going to tell me this thing is real.
Come on, Elon Musk. You know you want to do it. You've got the Mars thing pretty much on track. You can play around with some other projects.
Come on, man. If you do one thing in your life.
But if they made it how it was in the book compared to the movie, because they don't talk about this in the movie, but in the book, when you signed up for your Oasis account, it was a one-time fee, permanent access afterwards, but a one-time fee of 25 cents.
Yeah.
That's all it cost to be part of that.
There you go, Mr. 80s. It's quarters. All quarters all day. I love that. It's clever.
It was just like you were playing into an arcade cabinet. This one was just a lot bigger.
And then we're on free play after that, pretty much. Hell yeah.
Well, they do kind of play with that notion at the end with the quarter and the extra life. That whole
when he has
MacGuffin.
When he has the quarter there.
So I can save this for later, but that does make an appearance in the book at one point. But I can save that for when we get to that discussion.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I got a really good picture of the three keys here with Anorak, the all-knowing. So the meat and potatoes here. Let's get to the plot. It's kind of part Matrix, part kind of Willy Wonka. Billionaire guy's going to give away his company through a contest. Whoever finds the three keys hidden throughout the Oasis gets control of the Oasis and all of his stock in the game company Gregarious Games, which is $500 billion worth, which I don't know what that's like in 2045 Ohio, but maybe I'll live long enough to see what that's like, and hopefully this doesn't actually happen. But I mean, be kind of cool. So Frank, what do you think about this plot? Does this plot work for you? Is there anything you would change, add, Control, Alt, Delete?
I
Something
love
like that.
I love the reference you make to Willy Wonka because there is kind of the same thing there. Obviously, the
Mhm.
difference being that Willy Wonka is trying to still be around when he gives his candy factory away, whereas Mark
Yeah.
Rylance's character is already dead. But I mean, still, there is kind of the similar motives behind it all. Is I don't want it to fall apart. I don't want to give it to somebody who's not going to appreciate it. I need to make sure that this ends up in the hands of somebody who is going to love it the way that I love it, or at least come somewhere close to it. And that's kind of the whole adventure. I wouldn't change anything about the plot. I mean, the video game kid in me that grew up with, playing, Pong and the original Donkey Kong and all that loves this shit. The 80s kids in me loves the references. It is actually a really good story. I like the fact that the love story doesn't kind of run over the rest of the movie, because sure, they get together at the end, but it's not, there's really like a couple of scenes where it pops up. The rest of it's just kind of dressing for the rest of it. But yeah, I wouldn't change anything about the plot of the movie. I think it's fantastic.
And what about you down there, player 3? What
Oh.
what is there? What do you think? Oh, I'm sorry, you're down there. I get to be player 1 tonight. Sorry.
Can't even use my name. But no, what I would change about what's already in there, absolutely nothing. Like Frank said, like he said, the love story doesn't overtake everything. It's a nice side point to have and everything like that, and it does play a good point at the end of the movie. I would say I wish they would have shown a little bit more of the U.S. during the film, because difference early on between book and movie is, in the book, he actually starts out, he's from Oklahoma. He's from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, living in the stacks there. And it isn't until after the first task when he gets some money, because he was still a high school student at the start of this. Then he moves himself to Columbus to be closer to gregarious games. I would have liked to maybe have seen that, like that move into seeing what the rest of the world could be looking like. If he traveled halfway across the U.S. to get to Ohio, to see like maybe a quick little 5-minute, 10-minute scene of how crazy the whole world is in the year of 2045, with how this world played out.
And I know you've told me that this actually takes place over a couple of years, not like it doesn't just happen like a bunch of dominoes, like boom, 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 one after another.
It's about after Halliday's death and the start of the contest. It's the same time frame, the 5 years to get the first key. But after that, it's about a year and a half or so to actually finish the challenge. Like, it's not get a key next day, you figure it out, and you're on to the next one. It takes a lot of time in between, and a lot of stuff happens in between.
Yeah, that would have been kind of wild. I think personally, I don't mind that change, because I mean, a lot of things in this, like, you have to suspend your disbelief about, like, gaming and gamers and how that stuff works. Like, I know all three of us are in that world. I'm like, you're telling me after 5 years, literally no one thought to go backwards on the racetrack? I'm like, that would have been like the first thing someone tried. Like, I don't know if I believe that, but
I feel like somebody would have done it just as a goof before somebody would have figured out, oh, hey, this might be the key to getting that that first.
Yeah, and that's how a lot of it happens. Like, you're like, oh, this does work. It's like it wouldn't have taken that long for someone to figure out, oh, go backwards, So
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't really believe that, but I'm like, I believe that once you did start the ball rolling, like, that is kind of how the gaming thing works. Is like you probably figuring it out like that fast, and it would just be one after another. I mean, there is some time in between like the race and then them getting to the Shining Challenge, which is absolutely I got a really good shot of it. That, I mean, if that doesn't just also just make your heart just a little bit happy, like, oh my god, we're doing this, we're actually doing The Shining, for whatever reason, I don't really care why, but we're doing this. And I do, another reason why I love this movie is my birthday is actually mentioned in this movie when they go to look through the curator, which movies did Halliday watch, and he says, can we see November 23rd through the 25th? I was like, and he said my birthday in there, and it makes me happy. So
yeah.
I'm pointing at the screen doing the Leonardo DiCaprio, like, oh, the thing. He did the thing.
Well, you brought up with the challenge with the race, which this is one of those features. I'm glad they changed it. It worked out well. But I actually have here, if you would like to hear this, Frank, how the challenges went in the book, because they went a lot different. Because
say, like, you mentioned the challenge because, like, we're in the plot, so yeah.
Yeah. So we're at the first challenge, like we were just discussing, and here it's a race that no one could beat. You get that nice little Easter egg of the Batmobile making the da 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 sound as it's breaking. Awesome stuff there.
Yeah.
But then he figures it out by watching that scene that you had up when they were talking at the party. That Halliday said, "Why can't we go backwards for once? Backwards as fast as we can." Bill and Ted did it.
Bill and Ted did
That's a,
it.
and that's how Parsons gets the notion to go backwards on the track. But
I mean,
in the book, it goes a little bit more into the tabletop nerd side, and it's not all just video game nerd at the start of it. Because the first challenge in the book was actually on the planet Ludos, which is the school planet where all the kids would be able to go to school in the Oasis instead of actually having to go to a school. It was hidden on there. It was actually an old 1984 D&D module called Tomb of Horrors. You had to navigate the Tomb of Horrors, get to the end, and the actual module, there was a lich that was asleep in the treasure room. But when Harswell gets through it and he gets to the end, Lich is awake. It's a demi-lich named Aetherak, and he challenges him to the old arcade cabinet game of Joust. Best of 3. Best of 3 wins. If he wins, he gets the key. If he loses, the Lich attacks and he would probably die. But something that the movie doesn't show, when you have the key, that's not the end, the clue to the next key. You have to go and find the gate. And the gate is somewhere else completely different. This one was on a recreation of Halliday's hometown, in his room as a child, in his closet. When you opened it up with the key, you had to reenact the main character of War Games. You were the character. You had to go line for line. If you were wrong, it reset to the beginning. You had to go through all of that just to get the clue to where the second key could be.
That's insane. I do have a pic. I did find a really cool picture of the Batmobile, the '60s
Yep.
Batmobile, when the tires skid and it skids out the Batman theme. I'm like, okay, that's funny. Before it gets bopped over the edge by Bigfoot back there, which is another fun reference. I tried my best. I know it's later in the trivia, but I found somewhat of a picture of Artemis's bike that's not blurred half to hell, but there's at least a cool picture of her bike. I tried. From another
Kaneda's
80s
80s anime.
yeah,
Kaneda's bike from
80s
Akira.
anime. Yeah, the anime Akira. Just cool. Excuse me, goddamn, which is cool. I like I said, I have not. I do have a copy of the first book and the second book, and I know that there is actually. I'm gonna kind of sidetrack here, but I know there is like actually a contest. Like there is this thing apparently going on. That there is some Easter egg that's like so fucking buried that like we're supposed to actually try to figure it out. And like I don't know, I think it's Ernest Cline who's maybe doing it, the author of the book. And I noticed on the covers of the book I have out there, if you line the two spines up, it does make a maze like through one spine and through the other one. And I'm like, I know how this guy like he loves his Easter eggs and stuff like that. And I'm like, there's a gaming rule of 3. I'm like, I bet you there'll be a third book, and I bet you if you put all 3 of those books together, there's gonna be some complete maze on the bet. I'm looking in every like stone. I'm trying to overturn and like make little connections here and there, writing out notes like Parsifal is. Like I'm sure it's there. But yeah, like I haven't read the books, but I don't read. People, it's probably pretty obvious. I don't read. But this would be something I would definitely would get into. But as far as the movie goes, like I said, I can't really complain. I mean, you get so engrossed just even in the opening monologue. Like even if you just watch anything, like you watch the opening monologue of Tye Sheridan's character talking about the Oasis and what it is, like what it means to people, and like when it's like you can go anywhere, do anything, you can be anybody. You can ski down the pyramids, you can climb Mount Everest with Batman. I'm like, stop! I'm already a wreck, dude. I can't. You sold me, okay? You got me. All right, like this is so cool.
Batman was just a finish.
Yeah, we double dosed Batman. We got Batman climbing up the pyramid or up Everest, and we also got the '60s Batmobile. So well, actually, and there's again all these Easter eggs. I could put every frame of this movie in here and tell you just about most of them. The first shot you see of Artemis when she takes her helmet off, the billboard behind her is an Ace Chemicals factory, which, as we know, is where the Joker fell into the vat of acid. So I'm like, there's a couple Batman references in this movie.
Not to mention Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn and the Distracted Globe.
Harley Quinn and the Joker actually were in the Distracted Globe. That's true.
Yep.
God damn. Yeah. I don't know how this was pulled off, and like I imagine this. I think this movie did take a couple years to make, because how many IPs that are in this, even just for a second, like to be able to do, and like that's why I said I'm glad it was someone like Spielberg, who you could name drop and be like, oh yeah, this guy could do it. Not that it was an easy feat, but I imagine like that's the guy I would want doing this. So I would love for him to continue doing this. I know sequel talk is I think actually the next thing, which that's my clever segue again. But yeah, I wouldn't change anything about this movie. Like I said, I watch it constantly. If there was a challenge to, if it was to quote this movie line for line, I'm like, bet, give me like 2.5 hours and I'll fly through this movie. I got you. Gosh, I don't know how anyone can be sad watching this movie.
Well, I mean, if you're not a big video game fan, maybe, but I mean,
it's not cool. Well, cool concept.
Video game culture, a lot of people don't realize it's not necessarily new, because video games are becoming a thing back in the late 70s. I mean, they weren't. Obviously, they had not saturated the market the way they would in the mid-late 80s and then on into today, where they're huge. But I mean, but I think the first commercially available video game system was back in like 78 or something like that. And yeah, it was kind of rudimentary. It was Pong or something like that. But I mean, that's where it starts.
Yeah.
So just because it wasn't something like Call of Duty or World of Warcraft or one of these really immersive games, the gaming culture started back then. As all of society was kind of becoming engrossed with everything electronic, and not just video games. But I mean, I'm old enough to remember when answering machines were considered kind of cool. Now, I mean, when was the last time you saw an answering machine?
When I was a kid. That's probably the last time I saw one.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember. I mean, I don't think my parents even had an answering machine after, like, I was in high school somewhere when they were just like, we don't need an answering machine anymore. It's obsolete. After about 10 years of being important, it became obsolete that fast. So, I mean, it's not just video game culture, it's tech culture that has been going for quite some time now. I mean, at least since the mid-70s. And then that's when people like Jobs and Wozniak and Gates and all these guys were getting their start in the garages. They were just the guys that were kind of, they got lucky enough to get in on at the ground floor. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I think this movie really speaks to everybody, is because there's everybody who's of a certain age today, my age, even a little bit older, they have been touched somehow by the tech culture, the gaming culture, this wave of technology that kind of overtook entertainment.
There was somebody, and I don't think most people realize that, like, when you think of people like an age range of like who plays video games, I'm like, it's actually people older than me even. Like, it's not just like, kids, teenagers. That pool is pretty big, because like you said, like this started in like the late 70s. So anyone who was around to experience that, I'm like, most of these people were a lot older than me even. This was a few years ago. We had a guy in our gaming crew who was, I think he was about 50 something at that time, and he's playing video games with us. Like he's running circles with the rest of us, and in his very deep Southern accent, we were talking about video games. He's like, yeah, I've been around. I've been playing video games since you guys may have heard of it. It's this little thing called Pong. I was like, dude, I was just like blown away. I'm like, that's so goddamn cool. He's like, yeah, here I am now. I'm shooting spells and fucking slaying dragons and shit with all of you. I'm like, he's like, but he got a little sad. He's like, when I'm like 50 now, he's like, I don't know what's gonna happen in like the next 50 years. He's like, I'm kind of jealous that y'all get to see further what it's gonna become. And I was like, right, dude. I mean, like, I don't know what's gonna happen when I'm 50. Like, holy crap. But like, that's cool that you were there for the start of it. Like, that's special. I'd hold on to that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember his I wish I could remember his name. But that was a cool experience.
Was that Bama?
I don't know. You probably know who I'm talking about. It was somebody in our crew.
I remember exactly who you're talking about, but I think it may have been Bama. Not sure though.
Yeah, he was older guy. Oh, well, there we go. There's the answer. My mom said they actually just got rid of theirs 2 months ago. So shit, they were holding on there for a minute.
I haven't had a home phone since. Jesus, when did I have a home phone last? I was
2011.
I remember when I first
2011.
got out of my parents' house, we had a home phone. But I honestly don't think I've had a home phone since probably the late 90s.
That's fair.
As soon as I got my first cell phone, I was like, I don't see the point of having a home phone anymore. So I got rid of it, and I haven't had it since.
You know what's funny? I think we were in fifth grade, and we were going around. We were in band, and like taking the teacher was like we were taking like people's phone numbers and shit. And we got to one girl, and it was funny because like, oh, she's weird because like, oh, they don't have a home phone, they have a cell phone. I was like, what kind of weirdo has a cell phone? That's all you have to like, contact people with.
Now everybody.
Yeah, I'm like, everyone has a home phone. What are you talking about, you weirdo? And it's like, oh, yeah, okay. We did a little switcheroo now. Now it's like, who has a home phone? Yeah.
I was also back in the day.
I want to take this opportunity. I want to take this opportunity to pick Zach's brain for a minute since he's read the book and I haven't.
I'll go ahead. Go ahead because I do want to find a cool poster I found on the con. So keep talking.
Well, very famously, the Godfather films were both 1 and 2 came from the same book. They took aspects of the book made it the first film, took other aspects of the book made it the second film. Obviously, there is a big divergence from the book in a lot of aspects. First off, percentage-wise, how much of the book ended up being kind of shown in this movie?
Best, I couldn't give you a percentage, but best would be locations, characters, and the final planet they were on. Otherwise, it is a complete, and the story, how it, like the challenge and everything they have to do to get to the end, that's all there. But like every challenge is different. There's so much time in between. The stuff moves. Characters kind of act differently in there as well. Some characters even look differently. There's even a main character of the High Five that not just their character, but they actually die in the book. Like there's not a lot that's honestly the same, other than, like I said, the challenge, the characters, and the places. Like the overall challenge, I mean, every task is different. There's just so much that's different.
You can do spoilers. This is a spoiler show.
So do you think there's enough to build off of that they didn't use in the book, enough to build off of to help create a sequel? I'm sure there probably is, but I mean,
there
most
is
definitely.
A second book, so
yeah, most definitely, especially since the book Ready Player 2 is a thing. They definitely could very easily make a sequel to this and still play off of it. How they ended the first film, they could still run with it to make the next one. But the only difference, like I said, would be there's a character from the High Five that dies. You remember Daito in the film, one of the two brothers that were in the High Five? He actually was living in Japan, and the Sixers actually murder him and fake it as a suicide. Like he fell out of his balcony. Like they actually straight up kill him to stop him from getting to the challenge. He gets the second key. Well, no, he didn't even get the second key. He's fighting the Sixers outside the challenge for the second key. And then all of a sudden he just stops moving. They don't know what's going on. Then Wade sees a newscast saying that someone was thrown or jumped from their balcony of the 30th story apartment building in Japan. And then he realizes that was Daito. And Daito was just murdered by Nolan Sorrento of the Sixers. So,
which is dark. I mean, is that maybe why they went with Parsifal's aunt and the boyfriend instead? It's still kind of personal, but like
they died in the book too. That is something else that's similar. It's just with how it came about in the book, in the movie. It's found out because Wade buys the X1 haptic boot suit, and they do some public record searches, and they find out, oh, Wade Owen Watts, wow, is the one who it is. That's Parsifal. They go after him. In the book, the Sixers actually reach out to him and want to buy him out just after he got the key. They don't want to wait like Sorrento did a little bit. They go immediately afterwards. And Parzival goes in thinking he's going to be able to record them and like broadcast and bash the Sixers the whole time afterwards. But he realizes he can't record. And then at the end of it, Sorrento does the whole speech of he knows who he is, knows where he is. And Parzival's still hiding in the back of that old van like he is in the movie. But they do blow up his stack. He doesn't see it. He's in that van, but he says he hears and feels the explosion. And he knows that his aunt and her boyfriend just got blown up by the Sixers because he answered their email.
Don't open those weird emails, kids. That's the
The
that's
Nigerian prince isn't real.
Yeah, Rick right there on the right.
There are not
Yeah.
there are not hot singles in your area looking for love. I hate to tell you.
Yeah, because again, like I said, he was still in school while he figured out the first challenge. He was still in high school. He had to wait until after he graduated to do his move closer to Columbus to actually continue this. And then he was just in a single apartment with a chair haptic suit. He didn't even have to move. It was all just controlled by his hands and a haptic suit to still have the real feel of everything.
Galactus, by the way, is the guy that plays Galactus in Fantastic Four, is the one who is his aunt's dickhead boyfriend.
Oh, fantastic.
Ha. That is pretty cool. I do like that.
I'm actually just sitting here reading the plot of Ready Player 2, and it's got a bit of a Empire Strikes Back feel to it, just a little bit that I'm reading in the plot. So
it does.
Okay.
It doesn't have quite the sad ending that leaves everything kind of in chaos, but but it still has that feeling like everything was good after this, starts to go sideways again because even the good guys start to kind of lose their way a little bit, but they all find their way back at the end, which is nice. But I won't spoil anything because the book's out there. The movie hasn't been made yet. Hopefully we'll get the movie made, but
no spoilers.
Well, that is the next point. I mean, on what do we expect from a sequel? So if that kind of makes sense, that like you kind of hit your peak and then things start to kind of go askew because like it's probably not all rose petals and sunshines and rainbows, pixelated rainbows. So
well,
I don't know, because like it's got to be a second act, and I'm telling you, there's got to be a third, which is gonna trilogy it out and conclude it. I would still love for Spielberg to make this movie again. Because I would want it to keep going and kind of keep its same feel. I actually went out there to the garage. I wanted to find this because I found this cool bit of artwork at a con. I could probably actually full screen myself here for a second.
I was there for that one.
Yeah, and it was this guy made essentially like, what if the movie was like an advertisement for an Atari game? And that's essentially what he made this artwork of, and this is one of my favorite pieces of art. So it was like, if it was an Atari game, what would the movie look like for the artwork? And I'm like, this is really cool. He did have one. If I had like the $200, he did have one that was signed by Tye Sheridan, and I was like, maybe, but not today. Unfortunately. I got moved around. That's okay.
I'm player 2 now.
Before I got demoted, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Player 3 gets the shitty Mad Catz controller.
It's not even plugged in. We like to make him think he's playing. No, like he said, he took this to like a con or something, and he showed Tye Sheridan, and he thought it was the coolest thing ever, and he signed it for him. And he was selling that, and I debated it, but it's all right. Yeah. Anyone want to throw in their hat for sequel talks or what we maybe think?
Frank, go ahead, Zach. You go first.
The book nerd. You go for it.
What particular topic do you want me to discuss? I got plenty of notes here.
I know. I told you to take notes.
I got plenty here.
So, what do you think there could be in store for like a sequel if we ever did get a Ready Player 2 on screen?
Well, if we ever did get a Ready Player 2 on screen, like I said, unfortunately, it probably wouldn't be as true to the book as the first one is, even though it's not very true much at all. Still both very good, but again, because the difference being a main character did die in the book,
Aito died.
A-
Yeah.
and they killed his character, sure, when he was the Gundam fighting Mechagodzilla, which was an amazing fight sequence to watch. They did kill his character, so he lost everything still, but the character itself is still alive. His avatar isn't, but he is. But like I said, since he actually died in the book, it would probably be very askewed from the book and wouldn't follow its storyline. It would probably just follow a similar but differently told storyline they would come up with for a film.
Frank, what do you think? What do you think sequel wise?
I don't know, maybe this is cheating a bit because I just read kind of the synopsis of the second book.
Well, right.
If it, I kind of like the idea of killing one of the main characters. I know they might try to avoid it because you don't want to be so much of a downer. But there isn't a third book to have to lean up against, so you can kind of be yet.
Yes,
because
I'm telling you,
because this book didn't come out until like what, a year or two ago. Ready Player Two?
3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, so I mean,
Ready Player
conceivably
came out a few years ago.
Yeah, so conceivably we could get a third book here in pretty short order. But I had read somewhere that the writer did actually consult Spielberg when he was writing the second book, because he wanted to make sure there were elements that were possible for him to build on in another movie. So, but I like the idea that it's got a little bit of a darker tone. The idea of one of the main characters actually dying is interesting to me. Like I said, as I was reading the plot, it had that feel of Empire Strikes Back, like it wasn't going well for the good guys, and that's one of the reasons why 99% of Star Wars fans think that Empire is the best movie, because it's so. Yeah. It's not just the typical, at the end of the day, the good guys win. That movie ends in a very dark note. You don't really know what's going on at the end of the movie, other than the fact that, Han's in carbonite. Luke just got his hand lopped off, and they're sitting there staring at the Milky Way like, what the hell's going on now? We don't even know. Then the credit starts rolling, it kind of leaves you stuck. So and while this, like I said, the plot of the book that I just read doesn't really end like that, it definitely still has that feel like things are going to go very wrong. Like, it's not just going to be a race to see who gets to take over this thing so everybody can live happily ever after. It's good potentially being corrupted against its own knowledge, and that's interesting to me. I like playing with that aspect of potential storyline. So if it's going to be something like that, it sounds very interesting. But hopefully we'll get it. I mean, I was just reading about it. Let's see. When asked about a sequel to the film, Cline, one of the writers, said, "It's a good chance that this one does well. Warner Brothers want to make a sequel. It's a Steven Spielberg movie. It's going to make a certain amount of money, so I think it's kind of funny."
It did make money. So
yes, he said that it's the third. Spielberg did. This is in the trivia, so I'm going to blow this in a little bit. He said it's the third hardest film he's ever made out of dozens and dozens of movies.
I believe it.
Yeah, and Cline wrote the book sequel, titled Ready Player 2, which was released in 2020. He did consult Spielberg on the final draft of the book and where to take potential film adaptation. As of 2020, Cline announced that the sequel is in the early stages of development. As of March of 2024, Spielberg confirmed that this film was still in development, but he would not be directing the film. He would be producing it, however. So there's still a lot to be worked out, but it's like Tye Sheridan, Jesus Christ. Yeah, none of the actors are going anywhere. Tye Sheridan's not going anywhere. Olivia Cooke, what else do I see her in? But she's House of the Dragon. She was in that. But I mean, I'd imagine Ben Mendelsohn is still out there, and I know he's a character in the book, in the second book. But
I was gonna say he got arrested, so he's still there.
Yeah, the only person I think probably wouldn't come back for the next one is T.J. Miller, because he's become kind of persona non grata since this movie came out. But I mean, there's a lot of potential. So I don't know. Like I said, if Spielberg is involved, there's going to be some really cool story elements, even if somebody else is directing. And I don't imagine that he's going to allow somebody to direct it that doesn't have a decent vision.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like that he's still involved, because I wouldn't, I would still want him to have his hands in the pie, as it were. And like I said, Tye Sheridan, I think he's on the up, and he's got it, because I think I saw Oh God, when did I see Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse? I don't know if it was before or after this, because I'm like, that's a goofy, raunchy, zombie movie, and I'm like, this is so weird. And I'm like, and then I see him in like something like this, like Ready Player One, where I'm like, okay, yeah, he's got it, he's got the chops. So
I'm pretty sure that came out afterwards because I remember I got home from being in the military, and then my dad actually showed me that movie. So I think it may have come out after, or maybe I just saw it after. But
I don't know, I wasn't sure because I'm like, it's not like he's not like the main character, but he's of the trio of like the kids. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm not sure.
yeah. But
I
one
love that.
point,
I love that. Go ahead.
yeah. At one point, I would like to say, like, oh, we showed the second challenge. You had the Shining challenge, which, like I said, that was like the gate challenges that they had, and I did like how they threw that into the movie. That how they still had like similar stuff for the challenges. It was just they made it different to fit the movie, and it
Because they
blended.
had the gates at the end, the three doors like this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but like I said, the challenges each had their own gate at the end, which two of the three were acting out challenges. One was one scene from Blade Runner where you have to figure out the Voight-Kampff machine to figure out if you're a replicant or not. That's all it was. It wasn't the full film. It was just that particular scene. But the third gate for the crystal key, it was multiple challenges. It was the Tempest arcade game. You had to act out the entirety of Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
That's
And
amazing.
in true homage to the movie as well, you had to play and get the Easter egg in Adventure to actually get the egg at the end.
I appreciate that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
do like that kind of a sidestep here again, but the Lego set of the 2600, and it comes with like three little scenes from three different games, like uh was it Space Invaders, Centipede, and Adventure. The one for Adventure actually does have like an extra little thing like behind. It's like they're like little squares of like different scenes from the game. So Adventure is the little, like it's like the castle, and behind it they have an extra little stub where you put a little round egg. I'm like, that's such a cool touch. I love that that's in there
Oh,
for the
yeah.
first digital Easter egg.
Yeah, well, they had to put that in there because before that, in gaming companies, it was all just you didn't know who made the games. It was just signed by whoever the developer
Yeah, no one got
was.
credit. Yeah,
It wasn't until Warren Robinette put that first ever Easter egg in a video game to show his actual name.
which was his name. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that fact.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm fingers crossed for a sequel. I'm
Oh,
waiting for it.
oh, oh yeah. But speaking of the
Feeling it.
challenges, if I may again, real quick, I think since I know both y'all are also music lovers, you would love what the third challenge is in the book. You would love it, absolutely. You have to go through the entire adventure of Rush's 2112 Overture album. That is the challenge. You are going through that entire
Oh,
album as the world, getting that guitar, taking it to that silver altar, and making it into the crystal key. That is the challenge.
All right, that's pretty fucking dope.
I can hear Dr. Nick's hard on building up right now.
Yeah. All the way, yeah.
All the
I
way
guess
here
to be
from
fair, they did have a Rush 2112 poster in the in his bedroom at the end, so that may be like a little again Easter egg to that in the
Yeah.
movie, which is
Um,
but I did notice.
Also, speaking of Canadians, a character difference here, if I may.
Uh-oh.
Sam in the movie, she lives in Columbus. She's the red-haired girl with the port wine stain birthmark. Yep, girl right there, played beautifully. Um, in the book, Parsville actually does not meet her until after this is all done and he has the egg. He knows what she looks like because he's actually the one who gets taken by the Sixers. But he hacks into their system. He figures out all this info on the high five. He figures out that she's actually a early 20-year-old girl living in Canada with her grandparents with a port wine stained birthmark and long raven colored hair. And he does not actually meet her until after the challenge is done and they have beaten the Sixers.
I'm also just gonna call bullshit in this movie. There's no way you landed somebody that fucking hot out of nowhere. You just happen to be fucking attractive. Like, whatever, man. You know what? I'm with H on this one. She could be a dude. She could be a 300-pound dude in his mama's basement in suburban Detroit. And her name is
And her
Chuck.
name is Chuck.
I think that line actually made me audibly laugh in the fucking theater when she's like, and her name is Chuck. I laughed so fucking hard at that. Because, I mean, if you've been on the internet at least a little bit, you kind of like, yeah, it's not. It's not the hot single in your area. It's really not.
No.
But I don't know why that was so fucking funny to me. Because it's real,
It is unfortunately real. Don't trust people you meet on the internet, kids. But no, speaking.
H even told him, like, never trust somebody you meet in the Oasis.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're best friends, dude. She could be a dude. Yeah. But speaking of character differences, if I may blow your minds with one more, the character in the film IROC, the mercenary that's always working with Nolan Sorrento, got the skull-headed plasma cannon that he shoots at them on the bridge outside Planet Doom. That character is in the book, but he is actually a classmate of H who was still in school just like Wade. That's all he was. He was some arrogant high school kid who thought he could solve the challenge. And he actually tried to show Atari cartridge, hiding the name so you couldn't see it, testing Wade and H on their knowledge on that. And the one he's actually hiding was Adventure. It makes another appearance with him trying to hide that and thinking he was some smug, I'm going to solve this before everyone else kid.
That makes sense. Okay. And the final challenge here, we have trivia, which actually I'll kind of read over it again. Frank already read it. Said this one that Spielberg said this was the third most difficult movie he's ever made, behind Jaws and Saving Private Ryan. Those little indie films. I'll do since I haven't done it yet. God, I cannot get over how fucking cool this car is. So I'm gonna put the car out on the screen. The Back to the Future DeLorean with the kit lights, and I mean it's. I've seen a picture from Ernest Cline. He has like the actual car from the book in his garage, which has like the Ghostbusters logos on the door. It's actually got like the Knight Rider steering wheel instead of the DeLorean steering wheel, but for the most part, it's actually pretty well the same as this. But what's the besides the obvious Bigfoot, DeLorean, and Akira vehicles, the other notable cars in the race were the Mach 5, the Batmobile, the 18 van, the V8 Interceptor, Christine, the Pork Chop Express from Big Trouble in Little China, the Trans Am from Smokey and Amanda, and the RV from Spaceballs. And I'm sure if you pause the movie at some point, you'll find plenty more. Believe me.
Eagle One.
I actually pulled up a article from Screen Rant that has 120 Easter eggs, and I'm just kind of scrolling down them. Some of them are kind of obvious. Some of them are like really, really hidden.
But hard to see, man, I'm telling you.
It's like the one that I did notice as I was watching is he had the poster from Goldie Wilson when he's running for mayor back in the 50s from
it has it in there.
Back to the Future when they're talking
clothes on.
Yeah, when they're in H's shop, it's kind of hanging up, kind of slightly crooked off in the back of the wall. But yeah, there's a lot of them. There's so many of them.
Like I said, if I had like 4 hours, I would give you like every frame of this movie, and I could tell you where most of them are. But there are some that I'm sure I don't even know about. There's a lot.
I can't remember if this is in there or not. Someone said it was, and I haven't watched it again since someone told me this. But like during one of the scenes where Wade's just walking around in some of the spots, they say in the background you could see a TARDIS disappear. I have not seen that, if that's the case, but I got to go rewatch it and see if I can find it.
Oh no, I had to rewatch this movie again.
Oh no, what will I ever do?
All right, next one I've got a good shot for. Boom, Zemeckis Cube. The Zemeckis Cube is, of course, named after director Robert Zemeckis. when the cube is activated, the music playing is from Back to the Future, which was directed by Zemeckis. Alan Silvestri composed the score for both Back to the Future and this film. So obvious, if you know kind of nod. Because the little musical sting when he actually throws it up is from Back to the Future, because the cube turns back time 60 seconds. So, I mean, what a great reference to, another director and a great movie, which obviously, like I said, he drives around the DeLorean for fuck's sake. So,
And you waited until now to tell us? Sorry, I had to.
You wait till now to use it? Yeah.
I won't lie.
I mean, it's all about tactics, woman. Come on.
Yeah.
Saved your life.
But I won't lie. When I first saw Zemeckis Cube, like before it was used, I'm like, okay, I recognize the name. But when I saw it was a Rubik's Cube, I couldn't help but think of Dude, Where's My Car?
Well, it's somewhere lost in time. I'll say that. If I ever had a DeLorean, I'm pretty sure I would only drive it from time to time.
Yeah, well, you can only get it up to 88 miles an hour.
Actually, no, you can't. They only go up to 85.
True.
You can't. There are some that are, they got better engines in them that can do that. But I'm like, no, they actually cannot go up to 88 miles an hour. So there's no time traveling for me. I also don't just happen to have, spare plutonium with me, just sold in every corner drugstore like Doc Brown thought it would be. So alas, I don't have that. I don't have 1.21 gigawatts either. So
yeah. Can't make your flux capacitor. At least not yet.
No,
Give it until 2045.
Yeah, somebody pushed me off a toilet and let me hit my head the right way, and I'll think about it.
I got you. I'll be there. I'll be there tomorrow. I got you.
Don't you fucking dare. Let's go with this. I got a cool shot of the crystal key. Yeah. What's the next?
Oh, can I give a little bit of book trivia on this one?
What?
So the name Anorak, actually, again, book detail I wish they would have put in. Halliday got that name from Akira, from Kira Underwood, Ogden Morrow's wife, when they were in high school, when they all met. She was an exchange student. She was born in, I want to say, Sweden, and she moved to London and then she came to the U.S. as an exchange student. And she actually called Halliday Anorak, which was like a slang Swedish word for like nerd or geek at the time. So he stuck with that as his moniker when he was making all his characters for his games and D&D and stuff like that. That's actually where he got that name.
That just adds to the layers. God damn it. All right, on that sappy note, Sir Christopher Nolan, Robert Zemeckis, Matthew Vaughn, Sir Peter Jackson, and Edgar Wright were all considered to direct this film. That is actually kind of interesting. Edgar Wright would have been kind of interesting, I think. I mean, given he did, Hot Fuzz and, the Cornetto trilogy, to be fair.
Yeah, Hot Fuzz, Shaun of the Dead, and yeah.
Zemeckis would have been interesting because of his connection to a lot of
kind of obvious.
Yeah. Matthew Vaughn would have been interesting. I'm not a big Peter Jackson fan. Some of his stuff's good, but I think he's mostly known for
Lord of the
one
Rings.
thing. Yeah,
Lord of the Rings.
But I mean, honestly, like I said, Spielberg is Spielberg, and as much as I love Nolan and Zemeckis and all these guys, they're not Spielberg. So
yeah,
like you said at the very beginning,
I think the closest would have been Edgar Wright for me.
Yeah, but like you said at the very beginning, Frank, no one is as good as Spielberg.
That's fair. Let's see. Let's work backwards. Let's go for the Jade Key. Because I'm just working my way through these. A reference to Close Encounters of the Third Kind from 1977 was planned in the screenplay, but it was vetoed by Sony Pictures, even though it is, in fact, one of the first films that Steven Spielberg directed. I'm wondering where that would have been and how that would have worked. That would have been kind of a cool nod.
Yeah.
I could have seen it like having like the spaceship from the end of the movie somewhere in there. I mean, because that's exactly the
Yeah.
kind of visual that this movie gave us a bunch of. So as you're rolling through, like in the opening sequence of the movie, as you're going through like the world of Minecraft and all these other places, and he's using those visuals and the voiceover to explain to you what this world is. You know, rolling down past the the big spaceship and all that while you're rolling through all the other stuff would have been a cool visual. But yeah, I mean, it would have been cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, instead of climbing Everest, you could have been like, you can climb Devil's Tower with Batman. All of a sudden, boom, spaceship.
And then the spaceship
there
kind
you
of comes down, right?
Like that could have worked. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Apparently, according to Stuart McQuaid, Interac in the UK is a winter coat. So
Okay then.
all right then. I would not have in a million years guessed that.
Mhm.
Oh, look at that. Since we want to pick out random crap that of all the Easter eggs in this movie that I could ever like try to find. I actually did manage to find this one. Where in the hell are you? I wish these pictures weren't so damn small. Oh, there it is. Okay. Boom. Of the many Easter eggs in this movie, Freddy Krueger can briefly be seen jumping onto the screen before being shot by H in the opening montage. So there's old Freddy boy right there off on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I put in the chat a couple of minutes ago this article I found on screen where it outlines 120 different Easter eggs, and some of them were easily seen, some of them are not.
That's it.
I mean,
Also
even in
in
this
that-
opening montage, you see Jason Voorhees.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the same montage, Daito and Shoto are fighting, and they kind of
Yeah, they split Jason in half.
from the waist. He's
not going swimming anytime soon.
he couldn't before.
That's fair. He did drown. Let's get a picture of Halliday. Boom. This is an interesting what could have been. Apparently, Michael Keaton was considered for the part of Halliday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. As much as I would love to have like actual Batman be Halliday.
That casting in and of itself would have been an Easter egg of sorts.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but I think Keaton would be like too serious with it. We wouldn't get that same vibe that we got with this James Halliday. It wouldn't have felt as mellow, but at the same time, like committed to what he was doing. It would have been more on the serious side of everything.
I mean, he does have his comedy chops. I mean, I don't. It may have been a little too distracting because it's like, oh, it's Michael Keaton, but like, I don't know. I like what we got. I think it works for that quirky, autistic like creator that we got from the actor. So
yeah, sometimes you don't want the best actor. Sometimes you want the right actor. I think there's a physicality to every role, and I think while Michael Keaton is great, one of the greats. And while he could have played the role and made it look interesting, I feel like the physicality from Rylance, the kind of scrawny, goofy, bug-eyed nerd.
Like,
I think we got that from him.
His arms like cocked out, all awkward. And he just kind of stands there looking off in the distance. It's like, no, he has the mannerisms too.
Yeah, I feel like we got the right character from him, the right performance from him. That we could have gotten a great performance from Michael Keaton, but I mean, I think we had the right actor in the right role. But I mean, who's to say? Because I remember when Batman came out in 1989, one of the big knocks on casting Michael Keaton was, oh, you mean that guy who's been on all the comedies? How is he going to play this more serious role? Yeah, Mr. Mom and Gung Ho and all these other goofy movies. He's like, how is he going to play this brooding Bruce Wayne, this guy who swings around at night and does what Batman does? And the movie came out, and people were like, oh, now we're seeing it. Now I know what you're getting at now.
This guy's about it. Yeah, we got it.
So yeah, he's got range. And I tell you what, go watch Birdman. Have you guys ever seen Birdman?
Yes.
Yes.
Dude, I mean, that's the one where it's like, holy shit, he's good. It's like you forget how
Yeah.
good of an actor he really is until you see that movie. And you're like, oh, wait a minute, I forgot that this guy's Oscar level everything. So yeah, he's good. He could have done it, but I think, like I said, I think we ended up getting the right actor in the end.
Let's go back to Samantha because that's the next one. Ellie Fanning and Lola Kirk were considered for the role of Artemis before Olivia Cooke was cast. I think I know who Ellie Fanning is, but I'm not sure who Lola Kirk is.
Elle Fanning's the one she was just in the Predator Badlands. Just came out. She plays the android.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I knew her. I'm not familiar with that one then. Lola Kirk, who is that?
Yeah, who? I know the name. I'm going to search it real quick.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
She was in Gone Girl, Mozart in the Jungle, and Mistress America.
Okay.
Yeah, she's got a little bit of the look.
Okay.
Well, she was in Sinners. Yeah. She played Joan in Sinners.
Oh, okay. No, I know who you're talking about.
I don't know. I like who we got for the role. I know it's my favorite movie, but I'm just saying I think it all did actually work, cast wise, chemistry wise. I think it works. I'm happy with what we got. Oh, I gotta cross that out. Sorry. Jesus. Okay, we got even next one. We got even more what ifs. If I can get Halliday's picture up here again. Damn. Frequent Steven Spielberg collaborators Tom Cruise and Tom Hanks were also considered for James Halliday. Tom Hanks would have been interesting.
Yeah, Hanks could have pulled. I think Hanks could have done it.
I'm just like, okay, so he's Forrest Gump. Okay, interesting. But Tom Cruise definitely not. And
yeah,
that's not just because I don't like him.
I can't feel it with Tom Cruise. I mean, he can play Ethan from fucking Mission Impossible in every movie for the rest of his life. I'm fine with that. But I don't want him as something like, as great as Tom Cruise is in those roles, I don't trust him to deliver dialogue the way that some actors can deliver dialogue. Like I talk endlessly a lot about the diner scene in Heat. Tom Cruise could have done that. You could have put him across from the best actor in the world. He couldn't have delivered that dialogue the same way. There are some times where dialogue has to be just right, spoken just right. Tom Cruise is always just Tom Cruise. I can't see him playing this character that is supposed to be, like I said, even though it doesn't say it in the movie, it's supposed to be kind of autistic, a very focused, driven kind of, kind of person, the way that he is portrayed in the movie. I couldn't see Tom Cruise doing it. And honestly, the main reason that I can see maybe Tom Hanks doing it is because he kind of plays a character like this in Forrest Gump anyway. He's also kind of played the evil tech guy in the movie The Circle. Did you guys ever see that with the girl that played Hermione, Emma Watson? He kind of plays this kind of asshole tech guy. He's kind of a cross between Steve Jobs and Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg. So he could have the character kind of like we got from Ben Mendelsohn, the character in this movie, the main bad guy. He plays a character that's closer to that. But I could have seen him maybe doing it because Tom Hanks is Tom Hanks. He's good. But but no, like I said, I think we had the right actor for everything this role needed to be for this film.
Very much so, yes.
Oh well, damn it! I had to go back to this picture anyway. Whoops. I didn't read ahead. In the scene where Halliday and Morrow are discussing the date with Kira, Halliday's monitor shows that he's working on building room 237 from The Shining.
Yep. I actually noticed that, it's working out part of the challenge already. He already knew at this point that he was going to set this up for when he was gone.
And to be fair, she is the Jade Key, so that it does make sense that she was the second challenge.
Yep.
So.
But the true rosebud at the center of the story was the fact that he lost his friendship with Morrow.
Yeah. Just still sad about it. Losing his only friend. All right. And on that sad note, we're going to bring it around with something really fucking cool. Where's I actually had a good shot of it, and I'm so
I
goddamn
put
glad I
put
did.
this in here for you, Jay. I think you'd like it.
I know. It's not the first time we see it in the movie, but goddamn, the second time we see it, the ship Serenity from Firefly and the Serenity movie delivers Toshiro when he decides to join the final battle. And he is also, of course, donning a classic Gundam from 1979 when he lands into the fight to fight Mechagodzilla. Again, I am nerdgasming all over this fucking movie, especially this ending scene where he jumps down. I mean, who dive bombs off of Serenity into a Gundam and then fucking fights Mechagodzilla alongside Iron Giant? I'm like, if you would have told me that was a movie coming out, I would have said you're fucking crazy. Like, holy crap.
Oh,
It's,
oh
God,
yeah.
this movie, I'm telling you.
Oh, but Frank, there you go. There's something I forgot to mention. Similarities you asked before. That is something that is similar book to movie at the end, but instead of just those two, Sorrento still had the Mechagodzilla, but he had like 5 other um, Sixers that had mechs that were from pop culture movies and video games and TV shows at the time. But then so did the 4 remaining High Five, and there was a massive giant mech battle at the end of the book outside Castle Doom between all of these massive robots.
Optimus Prime comes in and just decks him in the mouth. Oh, that would have been sweet. More, come on, more
Optimus
80s.
Prime
You
was
gotta
in the
have
movie. Optimus Prime was in the movie. I
Yes,
saw
he
him in
was.
that final scene as everybody's running up there. He's one of the many quick blink and you'll miss it references.
There was so many characters running up there. We had TMNT, we had the Battletoads, Master Chief, Tracer. There were so,
Tracer, Joker,
like
God.
Batman.
Oh, and of course we had, the one F-bomb, which is Frank's line. We had fucking Chucky. If you're
They
gonna use your
used
one
it.
F-bomb, good
They
timing for it.
used it well.
There were some pretty good horror references in here. I mean, The Shining was a really cool reference. I mean, you got
Shining.
the whole bloody hallway scene. Chucky, Freddy, Jason are in it. Yeah, there's plenty of references. It's not just the video game references and the pop culture, John Hughes movies references.
Actually,
there's a lot.
One that I would tack on that I've heard rumors of it, and I really wish it would have been true. And I think it may have just been the classic story of like scheduling conflicts or something he couldn't do. But they were apparently going to actually get Jack Nicholson to reprise his role as Jack Torrance for the Shining portion. And he just couldn't. And I'm like, God, would that not have been so fucking cool? I don't even care that he's 70, 80 years old. I'm like, I just want to see him swing the axe one more time and just put it through that fucking door and stick his face in there. Like, oh, that would have been sweet. I wish we could have had that. But
you see H trying to escape the room with the zombie lady. You see him bust through. Here's Jenny.
Right. And chase into the fucking snow maze again. God, that would have been so cool.
I bet you could have paid him a couple of bucks and CGI'd that scene in there where he's poking his face through.
Yeah.
Here's Johnny. I mean, in that moment, that would have been perfect. It would have been a cool little cameo, cool little Easter egg that would have fit perfectly. It would have taken you out of what's happening in the moment. If anything, it would have you way more excited. But whatever.
Oh, that would have been awesome. All right. Well, that is all I have for trivia. So for the credits roll, we get a game over screen. Frank, give me your final thoughts on Ready Player One.
My only knock is there was no Voltron in it. I mean, of all the 80s references, you got the Gundam stuff.
I know.
No Voltron? Come on, man.
You had Transformers and no Voltron. Come on.
I had all the Voltron like action figures as a kid. I had it all.
Those were cool.
I had 2 of them, actually. I fucking love Voltron. I'm actually really jacked up about this Voltron movie that Henry Cavill.
I know you told me they're making a movie, and I'm here for it.
It's either in production or it's really close to wrapping right now, and I'm just counting the days till that drops. I will watch that 3-4 times in a row. I will take an entire week off, and I will watch every frame of that. But I even like the animated thing they did on Netflix a couple of years ago. I'm only about halfway through it, but I even like that animated thing they did a few years ago on Netflix. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was very much in the spirit of the original 80s stuff. But yeah, it's a perfect movie. If you've ever enjoyed a video game, if you've ever enjoyed a movie, if you've ever enjoyed anything pop culture, if you've ever watched a movie, you're gonna love this movie. It's got a little bit of everything for everybody. It's got good characters and story. I mean, you put the rest of the stuff aside. I mean, The performances are great. The acting is great. The writing was fantastic. I mean, everything about this movie shines. There's no. I haven't heard a single person who's seen this movie and has not liked it. Everybody, like the more tepid responses are, that movie is really good. It's like, I don't love it, but it's like, that movie is really good. I really got into it. I got it. It was great. That's the more tepid of the responses to this movie that I've heard from people. But yeah, it's fantastic. Go watch it. You're not going to regret it.
All right, and Sharkbait, we're on our last quarter. What do you got? What's your final thoughts on Ready Player One?
So, final thoughts plus something I promised to explain to Frank here. But final thoughts, amazing movie. Could not have done it, like, pictured it any better than what it was. If you have not seen it, I highly recommend going to see it. This is a must-watch for literally everybody. Like it's been said many times in this stream so far, doesn't matter if you get all the references or not. If you get just one watching this movie, you will fall in love with it, and you will want to go and figure out what all of these references are from and all the cool stuff that it came from. But the Easter egg that I have here, a little bit of trivia, meant to mention to Frank earlier. We talked earlier about the 25 cents, the classic arcade price before, plus in the book, the amount to set up your OASIS account. Frank, you brought up the extra life at the end of the movie. Parsifal does get that also in the book, but he gets it in a much different way. He actually has to go to a planet that's nothing but an arcade cabinets, entire planet. He finds one of the original Pac-Man arcade cabinets and plays it. Gets the perfect highest score of 3,314,000 and something. He beats it. Coin return comes out. He gets the quarter. Thinks there's nothing of it, but he can't like take it out of his inventory or anything. It's just stuck there. And the same thing that happened in the movie happens in the book. Cataclysm goes off. Everyone dies, but he has that extra life.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, as for me, I just mirror what these guys say, and I know I'm biased because it ended up being my favorite movie, and I could just wax poetical about this movie till the end of time. But it's like I said, it's a must watch, and like we said, even if you don't catch everything, it's like you'll see something that like you'll catch something that you've seen before. Like I said, you very easily see like the Batmobile. You see it's stuff like Bigfoot. Like, I mean, I had a picture of it somewhere of Bigfoot, the H drives. Obviously the main second challenge, like if you've seen The Shining, or at least you know about it, you know the references, and that's what makes this movie so damn cool, is just like how much they managed to cram into this one movie. And there's something for everybody in it. So it's a definite watch. I don't know where it's at. But like I said, I know it's
on Netflix right now, and I think it's on another one of the streaming services. I forget which one. But...
Okay. I've got it on my phone. I've got it with me all the time. I always have this movie with me, to be fair. So that's just me. And the books are out there. The books are out there. So if you want to read the books, 1 and 2 are out now. So go give that a whirl.
Highly recommend.
I've been thinking that I want to read Dan Brown's new book, the new Robert Langdon adventure, but I'm wondering now if I want to go ahead and pick up Ready Player 2 and just go ahead and read it real quick, or maybe even try reading part 1 before I read part 2, just because I know that this book is different.
I would highly recommend reading 1 before 2, because I know you said you read the I know you said you read the synopsis, but book 2, it picks up literally like a few weeks after book 1 ends.
That's what I got from it, is like, because they even describe it as they're just kind of like settling into what they're doing as the ones in charge of the OASIS now. So,
Right. All right. Let's go around the horn again. Frank, where do the people find you on the interwebs and the gaming whatnots and whatever we do here?
Yeah, the next couple of months is going to be a lot of Stranger Things and Fallout. So I hope Jeremy's getting a little bit of a rest. He just finished Cave season. He just finished scaring the hell out of most of Southern Ohio. So I'm gonna make sure he gets some electrolytes in him, because I know that he's gonna go balls deep into whatever the hell radioactive chaos is gonna be coming with season 2 of Fallout. Also, season, I don't know, 25 years later, we're finally getting the last season of Stranger Things. We'll be talking about that as well, because those are going to be some really long episodes, and we were talking earlier about how we're going to approach this. And then, of course, Five Nights at Freddy's is coming out. We'll have Rachel back on here to do her expert analysis of Five Nights at Freddy's Part 2. But so the next couple of months is going to be a lot of the Upside Down and a lot of radioactive desolation from Fallout. So yeah, come hang out with us.
And I'll say it to someone who's been my fucking player 2 for a long time. Sorry, Rachel. But Sharkbait, what do you do on the internets? Where do people find you? Is there anything you want to shout out?
Find me on Twitch, Sharkbait_304, just like you see here. Planning on honestly starting streaming here soon. And hopefully I can get an invitation back and be with these two fools and doing this more, talking about all the awesome stuff that they always do.
Yeah, you're always welcome. The door's always there. So you don't have to find 3 keys to get through it either. So yeah, I'm gonna keep these. I'm gonna stop these jokes. As for me, I mean, I'm here Tuesday, Thursdays. I'm a lazy content creator. I don't do jack shit, even though I've said for like the last probably like 10 years I want to. But I mean, I'm here. You know where to find me. So yeah, we'll be doing some, like I said, some Stranger Things. I'm very excited for Fallout. I have not yet seen the trailer for it. There was a new trailer that came out. There was actually a trailer for Super Mario Galaxy, the sequel to that. That's exciting. That's next year. So I'm going to go watch that Fallout trailer, and I'm going to probably nerd out over that for a bit. Probably watch that like 4 times. But I'm excited for that. We got a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipe. So
we're also going to be doing the new Running Man on Tuesday.
That's what it was. I'm missing something. Running Man, the new Running Man on Tuesday. That's right. So from Arnie to Mr. Powell, who is absolutely a thing, even though Frank doesn't want to admit it. But
I gotta find that picture that we had to stop trying to make Glenn Powell thing, or trying to make Glenn Powell happen. I gotta find that.
Glenn Powell has happened, and he has been happening. All right. Oh, you want to play me out, music man?
Sure thing.
All right. Get the music going. Tuesday, we're gonna do some Running Man. So until then, we'll see you guys later.
Voltron actually wrapped filming, so we're gonna be getting that soon. Hopefully, there's no release date though. Ooh. Excited.
Ooh. Like I said, I'm not so much into the big monsters, but I am into the big robots, man. I'm here for that.
Yeah, Robotech too. I don't know if I saw a Robotech reference in here.
Give me a good kaiju Give me a good kaiju monster movie any day.
Oh yeah, love those two.
You just feel like a big kid smashing your toys together. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
See y'all.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.